The last time someone referred to a species as an ancient weapon, they inadvertently obliterated an entire race. Commander Drell stood on the command deck of the Corian warship Resolute, its sleek form slicing through the dark expanse of space. The crew, a formidable mix of the galaxy's sharpest warriors, scholars, and tacticians, operated in disciplined silence. Drell's three eyes scanned the holographic star map before him, its shimmering dots representing systems they had conquered or annihilated in their relentless campaign for galactic control. This mission, however, was different. The Corian High Council had given him an extraordinary order: find and secure the ancient weapon known as a Terran. Drell, like every Corian child, had heard the myths, but they were filled with wild contradictions and unbelievable feats. Even so, the Council insisted the Terrans were real, hidden somewhere in the forgotten sector of Ytheron. "Commander, we're approaching the coordinates," reported Lieutenant Varric, his iridescent scales reflecting the dim light of the control panels. "Prepare for re-entry," Drell ordered. "Keep the weapon systems ready. We don't know what's waiting for us." The Resolute jolted as it exited hyperspace, revealing a small, unremarkable yellow star and a collection of rocky planets in orbit. The third planet, covered in green and blue patches, was their destination: Verdun. "Scans show minimal technological presence," said Drake, the ship's head scientist, his long fingers dancing over the control panel. "Primitive satellites, low energy emissions, just like the legends described." Drell frowned. "Prepare a landing team. We'll investigate this ourselves." The shuttle descended through Verdun's atmosphere, landing in a dense forested area. As the ramp lowered, Drell, Varric, Drake, and a squad of soldiers stepped onto the planet's surface. Drell inhaled deeply, the air filled with unfamiliar organic scents. Massive trees stretched toward the sky, their thick foliage nearly blocking out the light. "Spread out," Drell commanded. "Look for anything that resembles this Terran weapon." Hours passed, and frustration began to take hold as no significant findings emerged. Just as skepticism set in, Varric's voice echoed through the trees. "Commander, over here." Drell hurried to where Varric stood at the edge of a clearing. In the center lay an ancient stone structure, its surface partially overgrown but undeniably alien. "Is this their fortress?" Drake wondered aloud, scanning the ruins. "Or a temple," Drell replied. "Either way, we might find answers inside." Weapons drawn, the team entered the structure. It was dark, the temperature noticeably cooler, and the walls were covered in unfamiliar symbols. Depictions of bipedal figures, matching the descriptions of Terrans, lined the stone surfaces, showing them engaged in various activities: building, farming, fighting. In one image, a figure wielded a weapon that emitted light, confirming the terrifying rumors. "We need to find records," Drell said. "There must be more about these people." Deeper inside, the group reached a large chamber, filled with strange devices. Drake activated one of the machines, and a holographic figure materialized, a Terran clad in simple robes. "Greetings, travelers," the figure spoke. "I am Archivist Eleanor. If you're seeing this, you seek the knowledge of our people. Be warned, the power of Terrans is not a mere device, but an intrinsic part of our nature." The hologram shifted, showing scenes of Terran history, wars, technological breakthroughs, explorations. The Terrans were not just fighters. They were creators, explorers, innovators. Drell felt a cold shiver run through him. The legends, it seemed, had barely scratched the surface. "What now, Commander?" Varric asked, his voice tinged with awe. "We keep searching," Drell replied, his resolve hardening. "We need to find a living Terran." Weeks passed as the landing party scoured the planet, following every lead and deciphering cryptic messages. One night, as they rested by a fire, Drake approached Drell. "I've been studying their texts, Commander. The Terrans were capable of something remarkable. They called it improvisation. They could adapt to any situation, turning their weaknesses into strengths." Improvisation, Drell mused. In war? In everything. It's what made them unique. The next morning, following an ancient map, the team ventured into a mountainous region. After days of grueling travel, they reached a secluded village nestled at the foot of a mountain. Smoke rose from chimneys, and figures moved among the crops and livestock. Could it be? Varric whispered, his excitement barely contained. Are these Terrans? We'll soon find out, Drell replied cautiously. Weapons at the ready, but don't provoke them. The villagers gathered, watching the newcomers with curiosity. An elder stepped forward, leaning heavily on a staff. I am Terran, the elder of this village. You seek knowledge, but what you desire is not easily found. Drell explained their quest, and Terran nodded thoughtfully. There is one who may help you, an old hermit named Ethan, living in the mountains. But be warned, he is different. The following day, the elder guided the team to Ethan's secluded cabin. The man who emerged was tall and muscular, with piercing eyes that scrutinized the Corians. What do you want? Ethan asked warily. We seek knowledge, Drell said. Your people are legendary. We need to understand your true power. Ethan chuckled. You found one, Terran, but I'm not sure how much I can teach you. As the days passed, Ethan taught the Corians about the essence of being a Terran. He pushed them to their limits, showing them how to hunt, build, and survive with minimal resources. They learned to improvise, to adapt, but most importantly, they understood the Terran spirit, the relentless drive to survive and thrive against all odds. One day, while trekking through the forest, Ethan suddenly halted. Look, he said, pointing skyward. A fleet of ships descended rapidly. The Corians knew the insignia, the Zorthan Empire, a brutal force known for their conquests. They must have followed us, Drell hissed. Back in the village, chaos reigned as the Zorthans attacked. Ethan fought with incredible speed and precision, turning the tide of the battle. His ferocity and leadership inspired the Corians and villagers alike. Eventually, they led the invaders to a ravine and, using the precarious terrain to their advantage, defeated them. You fought well, Ethan said to Drell after the battle. You've learned what it means to be Terran. In the aftermath, Drell approached Ethan. Come with us. Help us teach others. Ethan smiled. You don't need me anymore. You've learned the most important lesson. The Terran spirit can't be taught. It has to be lived. As the Resolute ascended into the stars, Drell knew their journey had just begun. The power of the Terrans wasn't a weapon but something far greater. The indomitable will to survive, adapt, and evolve.